drawing it together. We're gonna be lighting up the full core, you know, as we talk about a lot in these classes, right? Core is so important, and it's so much more than just the abdominals. Like, yes, we want to address those abdominals, get them, you know, holding us, lifting us, supporting us as we move through our movement, but also too, at the same time, we want to think about the core and its whole matrix, the back, the shoulder blades, even down here, low back, sides of the ribs, those obliques, what's going on in like this full cylinder, this full container. So having a block will be kind of nice for our little opening warm up. If you don't have a block, go ahead, just like grab like a couch pillow or something like that and get creative. But we'll come on down to our backs and grab our timer. And on our backs, just have you know, your block in hand. You'll walk your feet in, and usually either the narrow or the medium setting will work well for you. You'll just take those in between the legs, get a little press and squeeze, and then we'll bring our hands into fists under those bony frontal hip points, root the tailbone towards the heels, and activate the glutes, get a little extension of the hips. So we're extending the hips here, taking just this little bridge lift, this ramp position. And we're feeling this extension of the hips. We're using our fists, our palms to give a little feedback into the front of the pelvis and give the glutes something to press back up and against. And we're going to do little glute pulses here. So really want your glutes to feel like they are working for you here. And we want those glutes firing up for us. They're the biggest muscles in the body. So we want to get that gluteal activation. We want to really feel that fullness of the muscle. And by fullness of the muscle, I mean, like, you know, notice if the lower glutes are lacking firing for you, you can give them a little pat or tap. Maybe it's the sides of the glutes. I just often find for myself, right where the hamstrings and the glutes meet each other tend to be the sleepiest. So while I'm pulsing here, just getting a little slap or a little poke and prod into, again, where you can actually feel your hamstrings coming up into the back of the pelvis, plugging into those glutes. You want to feel that activity. And then holding here, we'll press into the feet, feel that extension of the hips, then stretch out the hands. So we can pull back on the right hand with the left hand, the four fingers of the right hand come back towards the face. It's kind of like you're holding an invisible drink tray here, and you're just getting into a little bit of wrist extension. So as you're feeling that hip extension, a little bit of wrist extension, we're just allowing ourselves to get some joints in the body moving in some different positions than they typically are during the day. Our wrist tends to stay in that flex position over the computer, right? Holding that cell phone. Hips too, it's going to be flexed at the chair. Now we'll take our left hand, pull back, and even your thumb, let that pull away from the palm. Continue to root the tailbone towards the heels. So that can be, you know, tempting, right? To kind of loosen the glutes, but press into those feet, grip the ground with the toes. Let the bottom of the feet even start to awaken there. And then we'll release our left wrist, circle it. We'll bring our arms by our side, lift lower down, one vertebrae, at a time, upper, middle, lower back, until that sacrum comes all the way down onto the ground. So then from here, we'll remove our block from in between the legs and take the feet wide. And we're going to drop our knees off to the right, press into the left heel, and use the activation of the left glute to just feel a little extension of that left hip here. So as that left hip is opening up, you want to feel that extension through the activation of the left glute. Then as you bring it back through center, you'll drop your knees off to the left, and you'll press into the right heel, activate the right glute. So you might even hold at the bottom of the glute there, like really feel that firing up for you. You're getting a little extension into the hip. Use your left palm to even feel that space opening up at it. And as we come back through center, we'll grab our block and we'll do a little core work. So you just got 6 of these, but as you know, we're gonna feel those 6. But just know, it's just 6 really, really good ones. Lots of power, lots of energy, lighting up the core so we feel ready and clear about where we're going. We'll bring our hands behind our head, release the neck into the palms. You can have those elbows drawn in, take the legs up to the ceiling, and you can have as much bend in the knees as you like. And then maybe take the block like halfway between the knees and the hips here. So it should be a good aiming point. Now spread the toes and relax the neck into the hands. Big inhale here. As we exhale, gather together, lift up. So shoulder blades come up off the ground. You take your legs forward just a little bit, and then scoop your tailbone some. So you want to feel that drawing in towards the center line. Then bring the right palm into the face of the block. Now really scoop that tailbone and almost try to bring that block closer to you, but the hand resists, really drawing into the pit of the stomach. Right hand comes back behind the head, legs return, inhale and lower. So exhale, lift, squeeze block, lift shoulders, left hand to the face of the block. Now you're pressing against that and you're scooping the tailbone, really feeling the shoulder blades lift here. Bring your left hand back behind your head, inhale and lower. Exhale, lift up, gather together. Shoulder blades come up, legs go forward. Scoop the tailbone, we'll bring that right hand to the face of the block and lift it even more, resist it. Relax the neck into the hands. See if you can hold more in the core. Woo. Right hand comes back, legs return, inhale. Exhale, lift, gather together. Squeeze the block. Bring your left hand, or sorry, legs forward first. Sorry. Left hand to the face of the block, scoop your tailbone, resist it. Like really pull in there, let that, really feel that gathering together. Bring the left hand back, legs up, inhale, lower. One more, exhale, lift on both sides. Legs come forward. Then scoop that tailbone, right hand to the block and try and pull it in a little bit more. Really feel that drawing into the abdominals. Right hand comes back, inhale and lower. Exhale and lift, gather together. Legs go forward. Left hand to the face of the block. Scoop the tailbone and draw that hand against the block. Left hand comes back. Inhale and release. So I touched a 6, but super effective. And we're feeling it. So let's windshield wiper our legs, but keep the sacrum, the pelvis on the ground. We're getting a little hip rotation here. And what you're feeling there, like especially that really deep drawing in, lots of stuff, obliques, transverse abdominals. In particular, we are igniting the iliopsoas. This big postural muscle goes from that leg bone all the way up, connects into the low back. And so iliopsoas, again, we talked about, like, we spend a lot of time seated position. So our hips are flexed. That muscle is shortened, but it's also, it's not working for us. We're in a seated position. It's an extender. It holds us up when we're standing upright. So not only is it like compressed, but then it's also not active. So, those muscles there are kind of going to sleep, if you will. Same way our glutes can get kind of sleepy on us, right? After we've been sitting for a while, the same thing, right in that iliopsoas. So by taking that block, and really resisting it, we are really drawing into both those iliopsoas. And you could think of it like, just kind of like injecting life and heat into them, bringing them back to life, that little boom. So we'll come on back around to hands and knees, in the great sense of coming around to hands and knees, like we always do eventually. And we'll find our quadruped. Then with your block now, move it onto the space between your shoulder blades. So, just right in between those scapula, and we'll do a few serratus puffs. We have these in the class. So this is a part of your upper core, and so important to get in touch with that serratus. Now, first, feel your hands under you. You want the shoulder blades on the back of the ribs, knees underneath the hips, the front line of the body, drawing into the back line of the body, and really allow yourself to draw the throat into the back of the neck, reaching through the top of the head. With another inhale, you want to fill up the sides. And as you exhale, draw the front line of the body into the back line of the body. Take another inhale. And as you exhale, again, feel that front line drawing into that back line. And see if you can do that again without rounding the back. So now with these shoulder blades sitting on the back ribs, you're going to push into your hands and protract those shoulder blades. Just send them away from each other. It's like you're punching this block a little bit up towards the ceiling. We're igniting up serratus anterior, all these lovely muscles underneath that shoulder blade. You'll retract the shoulder blades, bring them back down onto the ribs, press into the hands, protract and spread. Then retract and return. Shoulder blades back down onto the ribs. You push into the hands, protract the shoulder blades, bring the shoulder blades back down onto the ribs, push in the hands, protract the shoulder blades, and then you'll, one more time, bring those shoulder blades back down onto the ribs. So we'll be doing that in class to get the block off your back. It's just easier to turn to the side and scoot it off. Go ahead, do that like I just did. We'll come down to dolphin. And in our dolphin, we'll have option for the block. So what I would do with the block is bring it to the lowest setting, the widest width, and you take your thumbs, wrap them around the bottom, your pointer and middle finger will come here on the sides. And so it gives us something to just wrap our hands around, but still bring our elbows in with. Now relax your neck, and like we did with the serratus puff, we'll do a little spreading of the shoulder blades, a little protraction there. Suck the toes, hover the knees by pushing the forearms, and then hoist your pelvis up towards the ceiling. And as you do that, you can maintain a little bend in the knees, really feel this long sense of drawing those femur bones up, up, up into the hip sockets. Keep pushing your forearms and really spread the shoulders. Lift those low ribs up and feel this sense of the hip flexors getting deeper. Keep the space in your back. Be cautious if the straightened legs are making you feel a big, big pull in your low back. Again, bend your knees, lift your leg bones higher into your hip sockets. And it's like, oh, no more discomfort for the back. Knees come down, sit your hips back. Child's pose. Bring it forward. Quadruped. Tuck the toes. Come up to your down dog. And then from there, you can walk your down dog to the wall. Go ahead, just try it out. Woo. Now, if you want to set up your down dog, classic style, so try it out. You got it. You want to try out your down dog, classic style. You get that measurement. My point with kind of playing with just like go ahead and do it is a lot of times you really do. You'll really start to just learn where your hands should be. And it's just kind of fun to play with that. Just go for it, get upside down. I mean, if you really feel like your hands are too close or too far out, just come right back down. It's a quick chip down. Now, as usual, because we always like to run through it, feet against the wall. You can have as much bend in the knees as you want. It's just good to get the shoulders over top of the pelvis to feel the sense of connecting, of lifting, even skull in line with those shoulders. And your hands are by your side. As you flip it around, you'll come to your down dog. And that's where, just like before, we'll walk it on up and breathe. So we're feeling those scapula connect onto the back ribs. Bring up the shoulders. Maybe shake it out a little bit. You can do the forearms down, just if you see how Allie's doing it there. And great job, yeah. Keep feeling that sense of lifting the femur bones up, up, up into those hip sockets. And always important to use the exhale to draw those low ribs in. Those low ribs in, sometimes it'll feel like you're rounding, but in reality, for many of us, because we tend to be sort of pitched forward in our ribs, actually giving ourselves a little sense of containing those low ribs will bring us from that forward pitch into a little bit more of that straightened alignment. It's looking good, everybody. Let's come to the top of the mat. I'm gonna get myself a little sip here. Have your water handy because we're going to some places today. Again, we use this statement all the time, but we'll be doing plenty of simple movements today. Of course, simple, not necessarily meaning easy, but you know, a lot of our movements being not necessarily complex in terms of their actual design or where we're going, but certainly challenging as far as holding them, keeping, you know, optimal alignment so that we can get all those muscles working together. That can be challenging at first, right? When something's been like a little bit sleepy for a while, and then we start to activate it, we might have like a little bit of a hang up there or something like that. So we'll come to the top of the mat. We'll bring our arms by our side. Inhale, reach them forward and up. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Hands can come to the blocks, the fingertips, the floor. It's all good. Right foot steps back. Right knee comes down. 90-90 low lunge. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. And as you elevate those shoulders up to the ears, like feel that freedom in the sides of the ribs. Hands come down. Plant your palms. Step back for plank. Lower the knees. Lower all the way to the ground. Keep the head of the arm bones lifted. Pull back your hands in cobra. Inhale. Root that tailbone. Push into your palms. Up through plank. Into that downward facing dog. Head of the arm bones stay lifted. And take a little step of those feet on in. Big breath in here. Step the right foot forward. You can use the exhale to clear the space. Left knee comes down. 90-90 low lunge. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Don't be afraid to reach those shoulders up to the ears. Hands come down, fingertips, palms, blocks, top of the mat, left foot meets the right. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands come down, palms plant, step or hop back. Plank pose. Lower, your knees are not, head of the arm bones stay lifted. Pull back your hands in cobra, root your tailbone, push into your palms, up through plank. Downward facing dog. Head of the arm bones stay in the center of the shoulder socket. So let the weight feel equal between the hands and the feet. Then step your left foot forward, bring your right knee down. 90-90 low lunge, arms reach forward up, shoulders up to the ears. Hands come down, step to the top of the mat. Exhale, hinge your hips. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Stand up tall. Exhale, hinge the hips. Right foot steps back. Right knee comes down. 90-90 low lunge. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Then hands come down to heart center. So once you press the palms together, so the shoulder blades connect to the back ribs. Then bring your right hand in front of the belly button space, the left hand to the small of the low back. Take an inhale, feel the expansion around them. And as you exhale, feel like you could panini press them together. You're going to feel the sense of the core, holding, drawing in, front ribs contained, pelvis neutral here, getting a true sense of opening up the hip. We'll release our arms by our sides so we can roll the shoulders back, one at a time. So as we start to free the scapula here, we're going to get a little bit more freedom into the tissues of this posterior chain. Now, rolling the shoulders back, you still want to feel the glute is working for you, that right hip is open. You'll bring your arms down by your side, hands come down, step back for plank. So we're bringing those serratus puffs back. Left foot steps back, meets the right, knees lower down to the ground. Check in with your neck. So feel the throat is lifted into the back of the neck. And this is kind of a funny one, but you could bring the block like in between the back of your skull and your shoulders just to help keep your neck in line. But we have the knees down, front line of the body is lifted. Feel the throat lift into the back of the neck. Bend the elbows 1 inch. Press into the hands, straighten the elbows. Serratus puff. Push into those hands, protract the shoulder blades. Now you bring your shoulder blades back to neutral. Lower, we'll bend to the elbows. Press into the hands, protract the shoulder blades. Little serratus puff, yes. Bring it back, neutral, bend the elbows. Press and straighten. Protract, shoulder blades come back down onto the back ribs. One more time, bend, press and straighten, push through the palms, protract, now come all the way down. Woo, I don't know about you, but having that block there, I have my cervical neck extenders working. So we're all the way down on the ground. You'll bring your forearms underneath your forehead, tuck your toes. We're not lifting anything except like the front line of the body into the back line of the body. So again, with your forehead down, you can bring your mind to the third chakra, to that space right around the belly button. As you inhale, fill that space up and root your tailbone down to your heels. Breathe a lot of space into your low back. As you exhale, give more space to your low back by exhaling and lifting your belly button up and into the low back. So front line of the body lifts into the back line of the body. Another big inhale, fills up the back, roots the tailbone. As you exhale, lift that front line and the back line and feel that rooting of the tailbone. Another big inhale here. And as you exhale, feel that front line, lift the back line, root the tailbone. Now we'll all bring hands down by our side. Palms are by your side. Feel your shoulder blades lift onto the back ribs. Now as we push through the hands, our knees will still be down. Hold yourself in half, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward, 90-90. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. So first, hands come to heart center, just a little press of your palms together. So you still feel this connection, the shoulder blades on the back ribs. This time, left hand in front of that third chakra, that space in front of the belly button. Right hand behind the third chakra to that space at the small of the low back. And as you inhale, fill it up around it. And as you exhale, draw front line into back line and feel this holding, this support, this lengthening in the front of the hip. Take another breath here. Feel the consolidation of the core. Arms down by your side, and with the support of the core, with the neutral pelvis, start to add a little variable in there. So we're rolling our shoulders back one at a time. As you roll these shoulders back, see if you can really get the whole shoulder blade on the back of the ribs moving for you here. Such a great move. So often this area is just locked up on us. We're not moving it that much. And as we slow our shoulder rolls down, we'll bring our hands down, step it back to plank. So back in plank, knees lower. If you like that little block trick again, you know, just kind of like across the arch of your neck, you'll have the block on the back of the skull and the shoulder blades here. And then from here, you'll bend the elbows lower, press, straighten, push, protract the shoulder blades. Bend the elbows, 1 inch, lower, push, protract. Bend the elbows, lower, push, protract, even if that block starts to move a little on you. Then push, protract. Last one, bend and lower. Come all the way down. You remove the block first and then bring your forehead down onto your forearms. Tuck the toes. Inhale, fill up your whole back like it's a big balloon. As you exhale, lift that front line into the back line. Really give it this true sense of opening, of freedom. As you inhale, again, gather together, fill up the back. And exhale, feel that drawing in. Front line of the body pulls in the back line of the body. One more time here, big inhale. Exhale, draw in. Feel that lift up. You'll bring your hands back by your side. Press into the palms. Up through plank. Fold yourself in half and downward facing dog. Step your left foot and your right foot forward. Fold. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands come down. Step or hop back. Plank pose, lower knees are not. Head of the arm bones stay lifted. Inhale, pull back your hands in cobra. Push into the palms, up through plank. Downward facing dog. Head of the arm bones stay lifted here. You can bend the knees, step or hop, up to the top. Feet land at the top of the mat. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands come down. Step or hop back, plank pose, lower knees are not. Pull back your hands in cobra. That same sense of lifting the belly button up and in the back, pushing the palms up through plank, downward facing dog. Bend and straighten those knees, push through the toes. We'll float, land, inhale. Hands come down, palms land, step or hop back, plank pose, lower. Knees are not, head of the arm bones stay lifted. Pull back your hands in cobra. Root your tailbone, push into the palms, up through plank, downward facing dog. Everybody take one breath here. Come forward in that plank. Lower your right knee down. And so we're in this right knee down plank, hands are down. So now we won't be puffing up the shoulder blades, and we'll be lifting now the hip flexor, that right leg up and in towards the middle line of the body. So skull's in line with the shoulders, palms pressing down, siphon the right leg up and into the belly by lifting that diamond up. Try not to round the back, and then lower that knee down. So head stays in line. That's where that block can help. Press the hands, suction that right leg up and keep that front line lifted, then lower it down. Really good. One more time here. Exhale, siphon it up. Right knee comes down and modified side plank. Block is going to come off your back if it's there. Left foot stays down there. Sorry, I got a little over enthusiastic. Let's all take our left hand to the right shoulder socket. So this is called your glenohumeral joint. Glenoid process of the shoulder, fancy name for the shoulder socket. Your humeral bone. So humerus, top of it, head of the arm bone. Glenohumeral joint. There we go. Now we have that left hand. We can bring it to the top of the pelvis. Make sure your left foot's pressing the ground. Root the tailbone. Finally, you can let your right ear fall to your right shoulder. Maybe sweep your left arm up, back, down, and around. And just a few times like that, circling this left shoulder blade. We go another 5, 4, 3. One more exhale. And then left hand comes back on top of the left hip. Slide your left foot up, 90-90, low lunge. Hands come to heart center. Why don't you make a little fist with your right hand and just punch it into your left palm there. Get that nice sense of connecting. Inhale in the center. Exhale, twist left. Use the right glute to do so. Inhale, come through center. And you'll exhale, twist to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist left. Come through center. And twist left. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, twist left. Land your right elbow on top of your left leg. Tuck your right toes. Lift your right knee off the ground. So you're in a twisted crescent. Right knee sitting on top of that left leg. Toes are spread. If the right elbow being on top of the left leg makes you round the back and has you feeling disengaged with the core, float it off of your left leg. Touching your elbow is not important. Keeping your core engaged and the spine long as it gets that sense of rotation will be our top priority here. Now open up, right heel lands, find warrior two. You can check the pelvis here real quick. We'll bring our hands to either side of the pelvis and make sure the tailbone's rooted. Remember, we can always shorten our stance a little bit, roll the left leg in if you feel like the pelvis is tipping forward at all. But from here, it's looking really good. So we'll bring the arms out, reverse, left arm reaches up, and exhale. You'll inhale, come through center, left arm, left leg, and right arm sweeps over right ear. Inhale, rise up, warrior two. Exhale, reverse. Bring it back up, inhale. Left arm, left leg, and right arm sweeps over right ear. One more time, inhale, rise up. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, warrior two, and left arm, left leg, right arm sweeps over right ear. Then you'll sweep your right arm down, turn to the right, pick up the left toes, side lunge to the right. You'll sit back in the right hip here and really let yourself move back in that right hip. And then move that from side to side. So sit back left hip, sit back right hip, using that initial sit back of the right hip to encourage that left hip to match it, to synchronize. And we'll just do another 3 each way. You can add a little rotation around the ribs, feel nice. Now land your hands, walking back to the front of the mat, rise up for high lunge, right knee bends, arms reach forward and up. Bent knee airplane, we're gonna bring our hands to either side of the pelvis. Left hand's on the left side of the hip crease. Right hand comes on top of that left leg. Load it, tip it forward. Load that left leg. Right foot comes down. You could keep loading it, lifting it. So that's one option. Knowing it's yoga practice, not yoga perfect. Seeing what comes up in the mind, in the ego, seeing if you can drop it. Just be. But pay attention, that's being. Sit back in that left hip. Really let that left glute work for you here. Right glute's working too. Then lower that right knee down behind the left ankle. Seated spiral. I like to sit up on a block for seated spiral, but you might find sitting all the way down on your hips feels comfortable for you. Make sure your spine is long, and very much on purpose again, we're rolling our shoulders back one at a time. Now, if that feels restrictive for you, then there you go. You discovered one that will be good to get more often. Breathe in full. Feel that complete exhale. Unwind to the right. Turn the toes out. Heels in. Sit into that goddess. And then from here, let's work the heels of the hands into the hip creases. And as we sit into our hips, we'll press the heels of the hands into the hip creases and just actively lengthen by rooting the tailbone and pressing those palms down into the legs. One more. And release, windmill, hands come down, turn. Palms plant, and we'll step our left leg back to meet the right. Exhale, downward facing dog. Come forward and plank. Left knee comes down. So we're in that kneeling plank again. Both hands are down. Press into the palms, siphon the left femur bone up and into that diamond, and then tap it down. Use the exhale, siphon it up. Again, we can use the block on the neck and make sure it doesn't move for us. Drop out, lower it. One more time here, exhale and lift. Lower it down. So the left hand is down here. We're gonna open up for modified side plank. You might wanna remove the block. Right foot stays down. You can kickstand that left foot a little bit behind you if you have the space there. Right hand's gonna check the shoulder socket. Humerus bone meets that glenoid process. Glenohumeral joint here. Make sure it's centered. Notice if you're really far out, off to the side. See if you can really stack that arm on up. And then you'll bring your right hand to the right side of the pelvis. Pressing that right foot. Really root that right tailbone down. Now you can also reach your right arm over the right ear and let the left ear follow the left shoulder. And if it feels good from there, you can backstroke. So the backstroke is optional. But let your shoulder blade have a little opportunity maybe to free itself. Don't forget about the left scapula either. Keep that plugged onto the back ribs. That's sitting firm on the back of your ribs, your right arm circling. Now, last time, right hand comes on top of the right hip. Slide your right foot forward to the top of the mat, 90-90. Left glute is working, core is on, neutral pelvis. And then from here, hands come to heart center. We fist that left hand into the right palm, and then we twist to the right. Use the left glute. The palm pressing against that left fist, just like our core work, giving us a little feedback, a little resistance. One more, twist right, land left elbow on that right femur bone, tuck the toes, lift the left knee off the ground, option to hover that left elbow off that right leg and really extend the spine. Keep pushing through the toes, go opening up here, stay engaged in the core. So the rotation in your spine is happening from that core engagement. And you're opening up to the left heel lands, arms reach out. Big inhale here. One more breath in, reverse and exhale. Left arm, right arm comes up, inhale. Right arm, right leg, left arm sweeps over left ear. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, right arm, right leg, and left arm sweeps over. One more time, waving the warrior. Exhale, root that tailbone, stay condensed in that front line. As you come back through center, you bring that right forearm, right thigh, left arm sweeps over the left ear. And let's take that left hand down, sweep it down, turn to the left. We're sitting back in the left hip for 2 breaths here. Big inhale. Exhale. See if you can just sit a little further back into that left hip. 1 more breath. We'll use the exhale to consolidate the core and then start to move ourselves from side to side. So that doesn't change either, right? We still feel a little bit of that front line of the body drawing into the back line of the body. And we'll take another 3, 2. Last time, hands land, welcome back to the front of the mat, turn the toes, rise up, high lunge. There you go, high lunge here. Hands come to either side of the pelvis. Right hand on the right side, left hand on the left side. Press that left foot, spread the toes, root that right glute. You can be tipping, little teapot style, right? Short and stout, front line of the body, lifting, drawing into that back line of the body, spreading the toes, shoulders coming back, big inhale, and exhale. Then you'll lower that left knee down behind the right ankle, seated spiral. Grab a block if you like a block like me here. Feels good. Roll the shoulders out. Just big breaths here. Keep the spine long. All right, unwind. Goddess, this is a little different. Toes turn out, root that tailbone, sit into the hips, arms by our side. Let's scrub the shoulder blades. Shoulders up to the ears, peel them back together, draw them down to the hips, release them. Draw them up, together, down, and a release. Up here, together, roll down, release, up, together. 2 more. All right, and then we'll walk to the top of the mat just by stepping our left foot to meet our right, grab a little water. We're gonna put these moves together. So it'll be a lot of the same moves, but you'll notice there's just a couple of times where now we're gonna put 2 moves together, really kind of ramp it up, bring this all home, and really kind of shore up this neural firing. Yeah, you know what's up. All right, let's come to the top. Blocks, if you want them. And we'll begin. Mountain pose. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Hinge your hips, hands come down. Step the right foot back, right knee comes down, 90-90 low lunge. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. You can bring the arms down by your side or bring your hands under the head of the arm bones, start to circle the shoulders back. So up to you. Let's take 3 full breaths here. You're gonna release your arms down by your side, hands come down, lift your right knee, step your left leg back. So once again, pushing your hands, get a little serratus puff, then bring your shoulders onto your back ribs, lower the knees, lower all the way to the ground, head of the arm bones, stay lifted. Pull back your hands in cobra, root your tailbone, see if you can hover your hands, but then maybe you stay just as high as you were. Hands come down, push into the palms, up through plank with the knees down. You can keep the knees down or lift them, pushing the hands, serratus puff. Just doing 3 of these, knees lower, shoulder blades down into neutral on the back ribs, lower all the way to the ground. Head of the arm bones stay lifted. Inhale, pull back the hands in cobra, root the tailbone, shoulder blades on the back ribs, pushing the palms up through plank, lift your knees, protract the shoulder blades. Shoulder blades come down on the back ribs, lower the knees, lower all the way to the ground. 1 more time, inhale, pull back the hands in cobra, maybe hover the hands, see if you can stay in the same position. Palms press, up through plank, fold yourself in half, downward facing dog. 1 breath in here, come forward in plank, right knee comes down, siphon that right leg up and into the torso, land that right knee down, modified side plank, open up to the left. Option to lift that left leg. Left hand comes down, left toes come down, right femur lifts up and into the torso. Try not to round the back or drop the neck out. Right foot, knee comes down, open up to the left. Left hand comes down, left toes land, siphon that right femur bone up and into the torso. Right leg comes down, load that right side, open up to the left. Last time, left hand comes down, right leg siphons up, right knee lands and open up to the left, modified side plank. left foot steps, 90-90, low lunge. This time, bring your hands into two fists, combine them, exhale, rotate to the right, left, right elbow though, on that left leg that's in front. Tuck your right toes, lift your right knee. Option to hover that right elbow off, open up to warrior two, arms reach out, reverse. Exhale, reach up. Inhale, come back through, turn on the toes, knuckles meet, twist to the left. Twisted crescent, and then open up to the right, warrior two, left arm up. So come back through center, turn on the toes, knuckles together, rotate. One more time, open up, warrior two, arms reach out, left arm up. Come back through center, left arm, left leg. This is different, right arm reaches over, back stroke. Just 3 here, you can let that left ear go to that left shoulder. And then sit back in the right hip, side lunge to the right. You can turn the left toes up. Get a little more into that inner adductor, that groin stretch. Walk the hands back to the front, turn on the toes, high lunge, right knee bends, hands come to either side of the pelvis, load it, bent knee airplane. Option here to just bring your right knee in next to the left and then kick it back. So flex the hip, kick it back. Notice if the pelvis is moving, good, it's not. And then last time, lower your right knee down, behind, outside, your left ankle, seated spiral. This time you can just sit here, hands can be by your side, or you could do the prayer hands as you twist the left. But don't let anything but the muscles around your core hold you here. So notice if the arms are really kind of holding you in that twisted position, and see if you can actually relax them here. Just stay upright in the spine and let yourself feel this space now that you created. And instead of goddess, we'll do straddle as we unwind to the right. You can have the feet parallel or, a little turned out. Let your knees bend as much as you'd like. So you might even stand up, then bend your knees as you flex your hips back. It might keep your spine long. Your fingertips can come down to the ground. You might get your hands all the way on the ground. Look at me, I'm up on the highest heights of my blocks. So a lot of variety that you can have. Let's take a few cat-cows here. Make sure the front line of the body is pulling to the back line of the body, and then really lift that up now as you tuck the chin into the chest, root your tailbone, press the palms. Exhale. Inhale, lift your tailbone. You might bend your knees even more. Extend the spine. Push the palms, root the tailbone, spread the shoulder blades. Inhale, come back through center. Lengthen the spine and draw the shoulder blades down onto the back ribs. As you exhale, flex the spine. You might straighten the knees a little bit more just from the very nature of your posterior chain lengthening there. You're lengthening the anterior chain, the front line of the body with that cow pull forward, think like cobra chest. So allow the knees to bend and free up some space in the posterior chain to be able to give that to the anterior chain. All right, let's come to neutral. Walk our hands back to the front. Step your right foot to meet your left. Exhale, hinge your hips. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Exhale, hinge the hips. Hands come down. Step or hop back. Plank pose. Oh, sorry. Wow. Okay. Right foot comes forward, left knee comes down. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. You're probably like, wow, that was enthusiastic. Bring your arms down by your side. Hands come on top of those shoulder blades. Roll the shoulders back. Maybe another day when we have a little more time, we'll throw another sun salutation in between sides in on there. Sorry, everyone. I'm just really feeling it. So I almost forgot where we were in the flow there for a second. Keep rolling the shoulders back. Again, you don't have to cup your arm bones. You can have your arms down by your side again. It's lovely. And then we'll slow our shoulder rolls down, hands come down. So here's our first little combo move, right? Right puts this back to meet the left. Knees can be down or up, pushing the hands. Protract the shoulder blades. Bring your shoulder blades back down on your back ribs. Lower your knees, lower all the way to the ground. It's just a great way to practice supporting the head of the arm bone in that shoulder socket. Inhale, pull back the hands in cobra, root your tailbone. See if you can hover your palms. Your spine really shouldn't change much here. Push the palms up through plank. You can lift the knees or not. protract the shoulder blades. Serratus puff, bring the shoulder blades back down to the back ribs. You can lower the knees or not, lower all the way to the ground. Head of the arm bones stay lifted. Pull back the hands in cobra, root your tailbone, hover the palms, hands come down, pushing those palms up through plank. Serratus puff, spread, come back down. Head of the arm bones stay lifted, pull back the hands in cobra, hover, palms plant, push up, down dog. One breath there. Feel the weight is equal between the hands and the feet. Bend the knees, lift the femur bones higher up into the hip sockets. Come forward in plank, lower the left knee down. You're gonna siphon this left knee up and into the torso and then land it, modified side plank. You can keep the right foot down or lift it. Right hand comes down, right toes come down. Siphon that left leg up and in to the torso, then lower it down, rise on up. Right arm comes up, right leg comes up. Right hand comes down, right toes come down. We'll siphon it up. Left knee lands, open up, modified side plank. Last one here, right side down, toes land, siphon the left. Left knee lands, rise up, modified side plank. Then we'll step that right foot to the front. You can tuck the left toes. So this time, 90-90 low lunge, hands come knuckles on knuckles, one time. Twist right, left elbow, right leg. Lift the left knee. You can hover the left elbow off, open up, warrior two, arms reach out, reverse, exhale. Inhale, come through center, knuckles together, turn on the toes, twisted crescent. Come back through center, warrior two, and reverse. Inhale, turn on the toes, and twisted crescent. One more time, open up, warrior two. Inhale, this time warrior variation. So this is different. Forearm to thigh, left arm sweeps over 3 times. Sweep it back, up and around, back, down, up and around. Last time, sit into the left hip. You can turn the right toes up or parallel the feet. So it's up to you really. Turning the toes up may get you just a little more stretch on the inside of the leg in those adductors, but prioritize the sit back in the left hip. So, just be mindful if your left knee comes forward a lot in front of the left toes. And that's just a sign that you can probably maybe try to work a little bit more space back into the hip. Okay, let's walk our hands forward again. Turn those toes, high lunge. Hands come, right hand to the right side of the pelvis, left hand on the right leg, lean forward, bent knee airplane. You can still be tipping forward. And then third option here is to bring the left knee next to the right, flex the hip, extend it. 2 more. Flex, extend, flex, extend. Left knee lands next to the right ankle, outside of it, seated, spiral. Ooh, just really get my legs crossed up there, but I am sitting on a block. So legs are crossed, spine is long, I'm up on a block. You can take a twist to the right. You can use your arms by your side just to rest, or you could, put them on any part of your body that feels comfortable, or you could have the hands at heart center. That can be nice. You can also be nice if you tend to lose the cervical extension of the spine. Again, it's the upper portion of the core, so you don't want to totally forget about that. You can bring your thumbs to forehead, with the skull lift in line with the shoulders. Now unwind to the left. We'll take our straddle once again. So feet can be parallel. Let me turn to the side just to show this point about bending the knees. So, keep the spine long, keep that neutral. You'll sit back in the hips. Your hands can come down on the blocks. Maybe if you did highest height, you can join me on the medium height this time. You might find there's a little more room this second side. And then again, we'll push in the palms, root the tailbone, release the neck, spread the shoulder blades, pull through, extend the spine, pull through the chest, lengthen. Push the hands, root the tailbone, spread the shoulder blades. pull through, extend and broaden. Push in the hands, root your tailbone, spread the shoulder blades, pull through and broaden. Exhale, push and spread. And then one more time. So just readjusting myself so I get in the right position. Walk your hands back to the front. Let's lower our left knee down. And with this right foot in front, let's come to our pigeon. Wiggle that right foot over. Come down onto your right hip in this ballet sit. You can bring your hands to frame out that front right knee. Option to bring yourself down onto your forearms, but they're just options. Tuck the left toes, roll the left hip in. I'll take at least one more breath here, maybe. And if you have that left toe pressing into the ground, you can ease up on it, walk your hands back, slide your right foot through, step the left foot through, wiggle it over, and ballet sit on that other side. So on that outer left hip, you walk your hands, frame out that front left knee. They come down onto the forearms. You can roll the toes in and roll that right hip in. So we have that left hip getting this release, the external rotator there, that right hip rolling in. We take about 2 more here. Of course, you are welcome to do a little longer. That's what's calling to you. It's what you feel you need. Go for it. Ease up. Bring it around. Come onto your back. And just course, now you are welcome to adjust your Shavasana as you lay here. You're not beholden to anything you started with, but that you can be adaptable and you are able to change. So know that you are welcome to stay in Shavasana for as long as you'd like. Just ignore my directives or turn the recording off. But when you're ready, take another full inhale, breathe it all the way in. And as you exhale, you can sigh it out and maybe reach the arms up and overhead on your next inhale. And as you exhale, you can just slide out. Maybe pull the limbs back in around your torso. You can rock over to any side that feels comfortable for you and bring yourself up to seated position. And with your legs crossed or not, up on a block or not, find the spaciousness that you just created through all this engagement. When we talk about the mind-body connection, we're talking about being present in this moment, in this life that we have manifested in. This is the body that you occupy. This is the life that you're living. This is the moment. Come into that moment, embrace it. It is a gift. Maybe controversial to think, but exactly where you are is perfect. And as you take a breath in, just not getting too hung up on that, right? See if you can just exhale, just take a little accountability where you are, space around you, in your life, people in your life, without any judgments. Just acknowledge that that is perfect, just as it is. Just to see how that feels for a moment. And so in this moment, exactly as it is, the space in me acknowledges the space in you. I bow to your practice. I say namaste. Have a great rest of the day, everyone. Enjoy.